July 1, 2025. Bryan Kohberger to plead guilty to murders of 4 Idaho college students, sparing him death penalty. Idaho sniper's grandpa hints at vain reason he launched firefighter ambush as his terrifying social media is revealed. Senate version of beautiful bill will kill America's clean energy sector, experts say. Porky Pig Party. Musk blasts Trump's bill and calls for new political party. Trump administration freezes $6.8 billion in federal education funds. California hit hard. Feds find Harvard guilty of violating students' civil rights. School will lose all federal financial resources without immediate changes. DOJ says over 300 people charged, including 100 medical professionals, and $16.4 billion national healthcare fraud takedown. AOC under federal investigation for employee illegal immigrant and helping others evade ICE. Bondi rips out of control Mamdani for making anti-Semitism mainstream. Seizing the means of production is the end goal, says socialist NYC mayor candidate Mamdani. Aging Democrats are bleeding voters. Their replacements smell blood in the water. Apple weighs using Anthropic or OpenAI to power Siri in major reversal. Amazon is on the cusp of using more robots than humans in its warehouses. Rosie O'Donnell slams Jeff Bezos and calls Lauren Sanchez fake fembot wife. Kind boy who joined Mensa at 4 died after allergic reaction at school. Why can't Americans sleep? July 2, 2025. Diddy trial jury reaches verdict on 4 counts, no verdict on racketeering. Pentagon halts weapons shipment to Ukraine. Chinese nationals arrested for U.S. Navy espionage plot as Trump admin cracks down on CCP infiltration. Zuckerberg unveils new superintelligence laboratory. An arms dealer joins Silicon Valley's military boom. The Trump administration is withholding over $6 billion in education grants from schools. Paramount agrees to pay $16 million to settle Trump's CBS 60 Minutes lawsuit. Trump backs NYC Mayor Adams' re-election, warns Mamdani against obstructing ICE. DHS Kristi Noem working with DOJ to prosecute CNN for promoting ICE tracking app. Tom Homan's response to deaths in ICE detention centers embodies MAGA cruelty. Canadians go big on Canada Day saying they won't become 51st state. Donald Trump's colossal mistake blasted by Obama and Bush during surprise reunion that left Bono in tears. See the new picture that replaced Trump's worst portrait. New Yorkers accelerating Florida move plans after Mamdani victory. UPenn to revoke Lia Thomas's fake records and apologizes to female athletes to avoid Title IX violation penalties. Katy Perry nearly falls from prop midair during performance. Taiwan to mix war games and urban survival tests under 24/7 live fire in Hong Kong first. July 3, 2025. Sean Diddy Combs convicted on 2 of 5 counts in sex abuse trial. Sean Combs acquitted on most serious charges. Elon Musk threatens war against the entire GOP over megabill. Trump's budget bill would explode funding for ICE. Top Democrats aren't talking about it. Clearing the deck. Deep state bureaucrats who haunted Trump's first term reared their ugly heads. New CIA report says Russia collusion hoax was corrupt from the start. DOJ opens door to stripping citizenship over politics. Congressional intern for Kansas Republican shot and killed by multiple suspects still at large. Hamas says open to Gaza truce but stops short of accepting Trump-backed proposal. Iran nuclear program set back 1 to 2 years, says Pentagon. 7 people missing after explosions ripped through California fireworks warehouse, igniting wildfire. U.S. to breed billions of flies and fight against flesh-eating maggots. China unveils world's largest hydro turbine for Tibet power station. Harvard is starting at $1 billion budget shortfall from clash with Trump. Governor Kotek issues executive order mandating bell-to-bell ban on student cell phones in schools. Powell's silence on future complicates Trump's Fed chair search. Texas forbids law that keeps guns away from unhinged people. July 4, 2025. Golden Age secured. House passes BBB. Strongest legislation ever for workers and families. Border security blocks tax hike. Democrat meltdown of the ages. Signing on 4th of July. Historic Trump victory. Trump reveals stunning plan to host UFC title fight at White House in front of 20,000 as part of America 250 celebration. Seniors will starve, people will die. Democrat Rep. Dingell melts down after big, beautiful bill passes. Republicans just passed the worst bill in modern American history. DNC chair says Republicans sold their constituents out to help billionaires. House Dems privately fumed over Hakeem Jeffries' pointless hours-long speech that did nothing. Trump rails against Shylocks and bad people in Iowa speech. Huge. CIA Director Ratcliffe finds Obama admins Brennan, Comey, and Clapper conceived Trump-Russia collusion hoax as political weapon against MAGA. Boxer Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. detained by ICE, citing involvement in Sinaloa cartel, organized crime, firearms, and ammunition trafficking. Trump deploys Marines to Florida just weeks after LA riots as AOC goes into meltdown. This is exploding. Putin and Trump discuss Iran and Ukraine in phone call, says Kremlin. Biden claims European leaders want him back in action. Madre fire explodes in size to become California's biggest this year. Michael Madsen, actor known for Reservoir Dogs, dies at 67. Travis Kelce says his biggest struggle while hosting SNL was that he can't really read that well. Muslim woman's hijab ripped off in attack involving 10 people at Oshawa Pizza, anti-Islamophobia group says. Human heart structure beats 21 days in pig embryo in Chinese chimera study. July 5, 2025. At least 24 killed and 24 missing in Texas floods. Desperate search for children swept away at girls' camp. Madre fire spreads to 70,800 acres in rural San Luis Obispo County. Trump assures Americans they're not all gonna die. Trump says he didn't know term he used in speech is considered anti-Semitic. The institutions protecting U.S. democracy have turned into traps. Bear Alcatraz floated as migrant detention center near alligators opens for Trump. Congress throws more money at detaining immigrants than most countries spend on their armies. Number of Trumpugees leaving America continues to rise. Trump Transportation Secretary tells governors to remove gay sex pride crosswalks. Woke New Yorkers celebrate July 4th by burning American flag. Syria ready to work with U.S. to return to 1974 disengagement deal with Israel. The U.S. is switching sides. U.S. plans massive Arctic investment. World's largest Legoland opens to tourists in Shanghai. Julian McMahon, Nip Tuck and Fantastic Four actor, dies at 56 after private cancer battle, wife reveals. Joey Chestnut makes triumphant return to annual hot dog eating contest. Zoran Mamdani identified as Asian and African American on Columbia application. July 6, 2025. Texas tragedy. Catastrophic Texas flooding death toll rises to 43, including 15 children, as search and rescue ops continue. U.S. lawmaker calls for ban on deadly weather modification. Several in custody after North Texas police officer shot in neck outside ICE facility. Trump wraps up deportation spectacle with new stunts and ICE funding. Is Congress funding mass deportations or mass detentions? Democrats step up efforts to woo military veterans ahead of midterms. This is not an accident. Jewish leaders condemn Trump's use of anti-Semitic slur. Inside Barron Trump's outrageously lavish childhood as president's son bags his first girlfriend. Elon Musk announces plan to make America party. Chuck E. Cheese goes the Disney route, begins catering to adults who want to do kid stuff in their arcade. Boy, 8, found being raised by dogs and can only communicate by barking. No-fly zone. Fighter jet forced to headbutt civilian aircraft near Trump's weekend retreat. FBI and Sheriff's Office arrest 28 motorcycle gang members in Operation Mongolian Beef. Jury acquits teen who claimed self-defense in fatal Toronto school shooting, saying he carried gun because his neighborhood was like Iraq. Another wildfire has hit California and Newsom's plan is to attack Trump. Debbie Downer. Kamala Harris skewered on social media over somber July 4th post with photo that crops out Joe Biden. New Communist Party rules hint Xi Jinping is delegating more power to deputies. July 7, 2025. Death toll in Central Texas flash floods rises to 82 as sheriff says 10 campers remain missing. Rosie O'Donnell blames Trump for Texas flash flooding deaths. Shame on every GOP sycophant. Hostage Squid Game. The horror show deciding who gets left behind in Hamas captivity. Nail in a coffin. Trump steel and aluminum tariffs bleed Indian foundries. Trump calls Elon Musk a train wreck as he breaks silence to taunt billionaires' plan to disrupt two-party system. Elon Musk is running out of road in China. Case closed? Trump DOJ reportedly concludes Jeffrey Epstein had no client list and killed himself. U.S. reassesses relations with Colombia as crime and cocaine surge under leftist regime. Aaron Patterson found guilty of murdering in-laws with lunch laced with death cap mushrooms. Trump's megabill suggests to rural women that punishment is the point. NORAD fighter jet intercepts general aviation plane after multiple airspace violates Trump's no-fly zone. U.S. ready to fund viable nuclear energy projects in Turkey, says official. Chinese scientists create visual sensor that adapts to light changes in seconds. China says the Dalai Lama must follow Chinese law if he wants to reincarnate. Western AI doesn't answer questions, it installs values. Is Hollywood inspired by the CIA, or the other way around? Kelly Osbourne engaged as Slipknot boyfriend proposes backstage at final Black Sabbath gig. July 8, 2025. Race against time. Death toll from flooding rises more than 100 as Abbott says Texas won't stop until every missing person is found. Meteorologists say National Weather Service had extra staff during Texas floods. Dems debunked, disaster response not impacted by Trump's cuts. Democrats call for probe into cuts at National Weather Services after Texas floods. Leavitt tells Dems to tone down rhetoric after Texas shooting. Netanyahu presents Trump with formal Nobel Peace Prize nomination during White House meeting. Trump vows to send more weapons to Ukraine, days after freezing shipment. LA Mayor Karen Bass tries to stop federal agents from rounding up Mexican gangsters at notorious public park. 11 killed after Kenya police shoot at anti-government protesters. Iranian president provides Tucker Carlson wild answer on the true meaning of death to America. Russia's dismissed transport minister found dead in Moscow region. New CCTV emerges as Thai police rubbish Bela Kuli's drug torture claims. New Epstein information refutes right-wing conspiracy theories. No one is buying this. Alex Jones breaks critical analysis over DOJ and FBI concluding Epstein had no client list, committed suicide. Musk tweaks Trump with Jeffrey Epstein post. Fired deep-staters go full Bond villain in effort to sabotage Trump. Judge blocks Trump administration from cutting off Planned Parenthood funding. California refuses to comply with Trump administration demand to bar female trans athletes. July 9, 2025. Trump reportedly guarantees Hamas he'll block Israel from restarting Gaza fighting after 60-day truce. Elon Musk's Grok praises Hitler and shares anti-Semitic tropes in new posts. Pam Bondi gaslit MAGA influencers over the Epstein files, and it's backfiring. Confronted over Epstein files, Trump and Bondi tell supporters to move on. Russia. FBI launches criminal investigation into John Brennan and James Comey. Trump and Ratcliffe seek to end weaponization of U.S. intelligence. Hegseth authorized Ukraine weapons pause before informing White House, sources say. Unhinged Trump audio released. Bomb the shit out of Moscow. Supreme Court okays Trump's mass layoffs of federal employees across more than a dozen agencies. J.D. Vance says some Americans are more American than others. U.S. State Department on alert after hoaxer uses AI to impersonate Rubio. Elon Musk's robo-taxi dream could be a liability nightmare for Tesla and its owners. Medical orgs sue RFK Jr. and HHS following move to retract COVID-19 vaccine from recommended immunization schedule. Rep. Ilhan Omar's activist daughter unemployed and selling used clothes 15 months after arrest at Columbia anti-Israel protest. New York's mayor tried to show us his morning routine but forgot to take the clock out of the background. Podcast host reveals Kamala Harris bombed interview so bad during presidential campaign it has still never been released. Lord of the Rings director backs long-shot de-extinction plan, starring New Zealand's Lost Moa. Jim Clyburn gives nod to Gavin Newsom's 2028 ambitions during South Carolina visit. July 10, 2025. More than 100 premature babies in Gaza at risk as hospitals run out of fuel. Only 6 crew rescued, 15 missing after Houthis sink Greek ship Eternity Sea in Red Sea. 6 Secret Service agents suspended for conduct during Trump assassination attempt. Comes 4 days shy of anniversary of Trump assassination attempt in Butler, Pennsylvania. Democrats gloat as MAGA world explodes over Epstein files. Trump tariffs goods from Brazil at 50%, citing witch hunt trial against country's former president. Rubio's red line. State Department sanctions UN official for warfare against the U.S. and Israel. Russian troops surrender to Ukrainian killer robots. What are they hiding? Biden doctor refuses to answer Oversight Committee's questions. The fuse is lit. I think there will be more bloodshed, warns border czar Tom Homan, as Democrat lawmakers say their base is preparing for violence. France detains Russian basketball star Daniil Kasatkin at request of U.S. LA on pace to see lowest homicide total in nearly 60 years as killings plummet. Georgia police smash car window to save crying children trapped in 117-degree heat. Florida might make customers gut and behead their own chickens if they buy from small farmers. Elon Musk's AI chatbot, Grok, started calling itself Mecha Hitler. Turkey launches probe into AI chatbot Grok over hateful content. The new Superman is a corrective to the modern superhero movie. There's always going to be a conspiracy theory. July 11, 2025. U.S. has reclosed its southern border after a flesh-eating parasite is seen further north in Mexico. Judge blocks birthright citizenship order, despite SCOTUS ruling restricting judges from blocking policies using nationwide injunctions. Soros network linked to lawsuit trying to stop Trump from ending temporary amnesty program. The FBI is using polygraphs to test officials' loyalty. U.S. State Department announces plan to lay off nearly 15% of its domestic staff. Conspiracy theorists are turning on the president. Ex-CIA officer claims deep state likely destroyed Epstein files. Woke influencers attempt to cancel beloved 113-year-old Oyster House over MAGA hat, spectacularly backfires. Barack and Michelle Obama team with Larry David for new HBO series. U.S. rocked by 4, 1 in 1,000-year storms in less than a week. NFL's Najee Harris suffers eye injury in 4th of July fireworks accident. Walmart recalls 850,000 water bottles after lids forcefully eject, blinding 2. Superyacht stewardess found dead with throat slashed in boat's engine room. Spanish House votes overwhelmingly to jail pastors who teach the Bible. A recent high-profile case of AI hallucination serves as a stark warning. Pro-Harris Group issues apology for 2024 anti-Trump ads. Largest U.S. teachers union mocked for misspelling fascism in anti-Trump agenda item. Too rich to parody. July 12, 2025. Israeli settlers beat American to death in West Bank. U.S. says it's aware. Northern Arizona resident dies from plague. Metadata shows Jeffrey Epstein tape was edited and saved multiple times. Dan Bongino takes leave of absence after spat with AG Pam Bondi. AOC calls Trump rapist in brutal Epstein files crisis dig. DHS says 200 arrested and 10 minors found during marijuana farms raid, while law enforcement dodged literal bullets from rioters. LA will provide cash assistance to immigrants affected by raids. Racist bonfire with migrant dummies on a boat set on fire. The MAGA meltdown over woke Superman is incredibly revealing. Trump judge pick declines to rule out third Trump term or denounce January 6 rioters. Trump is once again threatening to nuke the economy. J.P. Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon says Democrats are idiots. Memory aid. Longtime Biden staffer says she does not recall details about White House and 6-hour grilling. 3 new plaintiffs asked to join COVID injections injury lawsuit against Bill Gates. Grok is the latest in a long line of chatbots to go full Nazi. France opens criminal case against Musk's ex. El Chapo's son pleads guilty as drug boss of Sinaloa cartel, will forfeit $80 million. Ryan Routh offers himself for prisoner swap with U.S. adversaries. July 13, 2025. Unity amid controversy. Trump defends embattled AG Pam Bondi, says nobody cares about Jeffrey Epstein. MAGA turns on Trump after his latest desperate Epstein post. Trump threatens Rosie O'Donnell's citizenship. She is a threat to humanity. Trump intensifies trade war with threat of 30% tariffs of EU and Mexico. There is a mob of angry Republicans chasing Jerome Powell around Washington. Jasmine Crockett says most people voted the wrong way because they were uneducated. J.D. Vance goes to Disneyland with family, rides Tiana's Bayou Adventure. Bill Nye discovers the source of the devastating Texas flooding, and of course, it's fossil fuels. Polish president-elect asks Zelensky to exhume victims of Ukrainian Nazis. ICE memo outlines plan to deport migrants to countries where they are not citizens. 5 new detention facilities like Alligator Alcatraz coming soon. Charges dropped against Utah doctor accused of throwing away $28,000 in COVID vaccine doses. Women who claimed Bridget Macron was born a man are cleared of defamation in Paris court. More than 200 kids poisoned with lead at Chinese school after chef added paint to food. Giant shoes unearthed in northern England spark questions about who guarded a fortress at Roman Empire's edge. SpaceX to invest $2 billion into Elon Musk's AI. Elon Musk's AI firm apologizes after chatbot Grok praises Hitler. July 14, 2025. Republicans thank God for saving Trump on anniversary of Butler assassination attempt. God using Trump to lead our country back to greatness. Trump gets ratioed on Truth Social for first time amid Epstein backlash. Tucker Carlson suggests Jeffrey Epstein was a Mossad agent. Every single person in Washington, D.C. thinks that. Trump to announce aggressive Ukraine weapons plan. Putin shifts Iran stance? Now reportedly supports zero enrichment plan backed by U.S. Trump bizarrely gatecrashes FIFA Club World Cup trophy presentation at MetLife Stadium as unimpressed soccer star appears to utter brutal 3-word response. Bitcoin hits record high of $120,000 as bullish momentum builds. Hacked Elmo X account goes on wild, racist posting spree. Thousands of squirrels are swarming one of America's nuclear bases, wreaking untold havoc as we speak. Historic lodge on Grand Canyon North Rim destroyed by wildfire. Senseless violence. Multiple churchgoers gunned down after suspect shoots state trooper in wild rampage. Man is killed by pit bulls, who block paramedics from victim, authorities say. Pilots waved at children before fireball crash after takeoff at South End Airport. Dems couldn't save Biden's energy programs, so they'll try to make them a weapon against the GOP. The federal government is retreating from student lending. German comedian charged with approval of Trump assassination attempt. Ellen DeGeneres supports Rosie O'Donnell after Donald Trump's citizenship threat. July 15, 2025. Official Elmo social media account hacked as disgruntled hacker admin spews anti-Semitism and Epstein-related demands. This is key. Learn how the current Jeffrey Epstein case controversy started when the Trump admin killed Elon Musk's choice for director of NASA. Fauci referred to top prosecutor for criminal charges after bombshell Biden autopin pardon revelation. Supreme Court clears way for dismantling of Education Department. Trump slaps 17% tariff on tomatoes from Mexico. She pledges deeper partnership with Russia. The Trump administration is about to incinerate 500 tons of emergency food. ICE declares millions of undocumented immigrants ineligible for bond hearings. California professor arrested for allegedly tossing tear gas canister at ICE agents during raid on cannabis farm. New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy subpoenaed over comment implying he is sheltering illegal alien. Woke Colorado officials to set trans sex offender charged with attempted kidnapping free because he's mentally unfit to stand trial. Southern California trash pileup spreads to LA County as workers stand with East Coast strikers. Governor Newsom blasts son of a bitch Trump over Los Angeles grandstanding. Minneapolis mayoral candidate wants to Trump-proof city. Despite all the bluster, the DOJ has not prosecuted a single media leaker. U.S. set to hit 10-year high in executions with Florida killer's planned lethal injection. Teddy bear made of human skin found outside of a convenience store. July 16, 2025. U.S. House Speaker Mike Johnson calls for release of Epstein files amid mega backlash. Trump says Epstein files were made up by James Comey, Obama, and Biden. Trump is calling friends to tell them to STFU about Epstein. Why Democrats are smart to seize on the Epstein files fiasco. Rant against the machine. Joe Rogan rips DOJ's handling of Epstein files and scathing rant against Trump admin. EU demands U.S. pay for Ukraine-bound weapons. Jasmine Crockett serves up head-scratching word salad about Sesame Street in Iraq. POTUS says Dem Senator Adam Schiff committed felony mortgage fraud. Vance breaks tie as Senate moves to claw back foreign aid and broadcast funds. Beijing scholars map out Taiwan's post-reunification governance, including force. China's new secret weapon is a flying ship dubbed the Sea Monster. AI and disinformation fuel political tensions in the Philippines. U.S. sends deportees convicted of violent crimes to small African country of Eswatini. Trump officials to send home half of the 4,000 National Guard troops in L.A. World's oldest marathon runner, Fauja Singh, dies at 114 after being hit by a car. Paranormal investigator Dan Rivera dies suddenly on Annabelle Haunted Doll Tour. How black holes collided to create largest black hole merger ever. July 17, 2025. Bombshell. Trump goes scorched earth on Jeffrey Epstein hoax and disowns past supporters who bought into this bullshit. Trump, cornered on Epstein files, has decided to involve the Unabomber. 3 minutes cut from raw prison footage of the night Epstein died. Maureen Comey, James Comey's daughter, and Diddy prosecutor, fired from Southern District of New York. Zelensky says he wants half Ukraine's weapons to be produced domestically. It's just better. Trump says he has convinced Coca-Cola to use cane sugar. Trump administration pulls billions in funding for high-speed rail project. State leaders call decision illegal. Trump administration sued by 20 states over FEMA funding cuts. Hawley says Meta willfully pirating droves of copyrighted content to train AI models. Meta doesn't care about the law, it cares about profit. Fire, brimstone, Hegseth. Idaho Christian nationalists establish D.C. beachhead. Customs and Border Patrol agents can have gang tattoos, as long as they cover them up. Not worth it. CEO says he was offered $20 million to organize anti-Trump protests. China's Type 076 Sichuan is a next-level amphibious assault ship. Olympic medalist Auden Groenvold dead at 49, killed by lightning strike. Are diamonds even a luxury anymore? De Beers reckons with price plunge. Even this liberal was appalled about how the New York Times covered Elmo going full Hitler. Trump officials halt dangerous research, overriding NIH career scientists. July 18, 2025. Jeffrey Epstein's friends sent him body letters for a 50th birthday album. One was from Donald Trump. Levitt says Wall Street Journal outlet will be sued following release of Hatchet job article with a fake birthday letter and other false information, says that's not at all how he speaks or writes. Enough. Trump calls to release all pertinent grand jury testimony in Epstein case after Wall Street Journal hit piece. Scam should end, right now. Pam Bondi says ready to move to court tomorrow. Trump's $9 billion cuts to NPR, PBS, and foreign aid clear Congress. NPR asks for proof it's fake news. Senator John Kennedy brings receipts. CBS blindsides Stephen Colbert by canceling The Late Show. Prosecutors recommend 1 day of prison for officer in Breonna Taylor death. This Looney Tune slashed officer's tires during an ICE raid and quickly found out why that was dumb. Staged. Illegal immigrants kidnapping by ICE exposed as elaborate money-making fraud scheme. Feds prep for reopening of Alcatraz prison. Critics call it the stupidest initiative yet. Daredevil who jumped to Earth from space is killed in paraglider crash into hotel pool. Brazil's Lula tells Trump he's not emperor of the world. White House says Trump has a common circulatory condition. You're not imagining it. AI is already taking tech jobs. Gen Z men swing to the right and why it's a nightmare for dating. American Idol executive and husband were dead for 4 days, and cops only went inside after second 911 call. The reactions to the Wall Street Journal's trainwreck Trump Epstein story are hilarious. July 19, 2025. President Trump sues Wall Street Journal and News Corp for $10 billion over alleged Epstein letter. Wall Street Journal reveals Trump once wrote boobs on a calculator and showed it to Epstein. Epstein victims feel erased as MAGA civil war rages on. Durbin says FBI agents were told to flag Epstein records that mention Trump. GOP erupts after Gabbard exposes Obama admin's treasonous intel plot framing Trump. Makes Watergate look like amateur hour. Obama officials hid intel that cleared Trump in 2016, documents show. Venezuelan migrants to U.S. sent to El Salvador megaprison are exchanged in prisoner swap. CBS cancels Colbert. Trump dances on grave, Kimmel triggered, Dems ask if political. Astronomer CEO Andy Byron placed on leave after couple caught together at Coldplay concert and Chris Martin's affair joke. Pandemic profiteers. Shameless fraudsters stole $250 million from hungry kids to buy luxury cars and mansions. Top Secret Service official targeted in swatting attack. ICE head won't block agents from wearing masks, confirms use of Medicaid data. DOJ says former Voice of America employee arrested for alleged threats against Marjorie Taylor Greene. 3 LA County Sheriff's deputies killed in explosion ID'd. Investigators search Santa Monica apartment. Drag clown seminary student puts on makeup during service at Canadian church led by atheist female pastor. Chemotherapy can speed up cancer spread, Chinese study finds. 1 year later, this CNN guest still won't admit Trump was shot in the ear. July 20th, 2025. Dozens of dead after tourist boat capsizes in Vietnam's Halong Bay. With gavel in hand, Trump chisels away at the power of a compliant Congress. Documents conclusively prove Biden admin targeted parents for protesting school COVID, transgender, and critical race theory policies. Sought federal hook to criminally charge concerned parents. Wall Street Journal reporters behind Epstein smear have deep ties to Clinton-backed Russia hoax machine. Well. Dems try to take a victory lap for Trump-backed law they hysterically opposed. The next generation of Republicans is turning away from Israel. U.S. nonprofits funnel millions to Israeli army volunteers. 20% of EU's new 7-year budget would go to Ukraine, says Hungarian Prime Minister. It's like a game of whack-a-mole. How Trump's ICE raids knocked Los Angeles to its knees. Stephen Colbert's late-night show loses CBS up to $50 million per year. People are asking why the show wasn't canceled sooner, and why it got cut now. Man dies after heavy weight training chain around neck pulls him into MRI machine. Driver who plowed into LA crowd shot after being attacked by bystanders. Sleeping prince of Saudi Arabia dead at 36 after 20-year coma. Area 51 staff left with fatal diseases after guarding top-secret project. A plan to shoot 450,000 owls to save a different owl could be in jeopardy. The mysterious roads of Alligator Alcatraz. UK to allow children to vote. July 21st, 2025. Trump threatens to hold up stadium deal if Washington Commanders don't switch back to Redskins. Trump, 79, posts deranged AI video of Obama being arrested. They published the story without authenticating. Alan Dershowitz says he can help Team Trump prove Wall Street Journal's Epstein story was malice. Trump really did try to drag his Musk feud into pure revenge territory. CNN poll shows that the America Party is off to a rough start and that Elon is now the least popular person that we've polled. ICE chief doubles down on cruelty. Trump administration shuts down EPA's scientific research arm. The U.S. economy is regaining its swagger. Questions surround $100 million in fire aid for Los Angeles. One of biggest scams in disaster fundraising history? Japanese First Party emerges as election force with tough immigration talk. Delta regional pilot makes aggressive maneuver to avoid B-52 collision. Summer blowout. Biden admin spent hefty sum of U.S. tax dollars to upgrade swimming pools in Iraq and Russia. WNBA players demand increased pay despite league consistently operating at a loss. Pay us what you owe us. Driver who police say plowed into crowd outside Hollywood club has violent criminal history. Dog the bounty hunter's stepson Gregory Zeka shoots and kills his 13-year-old son in tragic accident. The world's deadliest addiction is popping up on brain scans. And it's not even a drug. Most storm fanatics chase tornadoes. These ones are going after hail instead. July 22nd, 2025. The Cosby Show star Malcolm Jamal Warner dies aged 54 in accidental drowning. Trump administration bars Wall Street Journal from trip amid Epstein spat. Trump administration releases FBI records on MLK Jr., despite his family's opposition. California sues Trump for blocking undocumented immigrants from public benefit programs. Trump still using National Guard to do performance art and punish Dems in LA. Trump thinks Canadians nasty for avoiding U.S. travel and banning booze, says ambassador. Trump's team sees Netanyahu as madman. Women in Gaza report men asking for favors in exchange for money to save their lives. Horror in Florida. Immigrant detainees forced to eat like dogs. Spitting up blood. Denied insulin. Why is no one talking about the Somalian gangs taking over Minnesota? To fight climate change, Microsoft is reportedly paying $1.7 billion to bury poop. SoftBank and OpenAI's $500 billion AI project struggles to get off ground. Fire aid money went to group in Newsom's office. And to California Native Vote Project. Frustration and fear ripple through NPR and PBS affiliates after Congress approves clawbacks. Did you win? Kamala Harris celebrates one-year anniversary of her campaign and wildly mocked ex-post. Actor Jeff Daniels argues Kamala Harris would have governed like Abraham Lincoln. She would have done what Lincoln did. Obama says boys need homosexual men in their lives. July 23, 2025. Ozzy Osbourne, Black Sabbath frontman and heavy metal legend, dies at 76. Ozzy clarifies to St. Peter he was joking about the whole Satanism thing. Jeffrey Epstein. Trump's wedding guest. Never before seen photos. The sell-off of Jeffrey Epstein's tainted homes, and where the money went. POTUS says Barack Hussein Obama is guilty of treason as deep state ringleader who tried to rig an election and did rig an election in 2020. Tulsi Gabbard aims to make Obama eat his words on the Russian collusion hoax tomorrow. House GOP moves to rename Kennedy Center Opera House after Melania Trump. Trump says U.S. reached Japan trade deal with 15% tariffs. Protesters chant Zelensky is the devil in Kyiv. Netanyahu is a devil incarnate, only he must be fought. Chinese hackers exploit Microsoft flaws, U.S. nuclear agency hit. Touché. DOJ removes replacement for New Jersey U.S. Attorney Alina Habba. DOJ does not tolerate rogue judges. Political calculus. Immigrants needed for redistricting purposes, House Dem admits in viral clip. Detainees held at Alligator Alcatraz describe cage-like units swarmed by mosquitoes. USA Fencing has changed their transgender policy just months after a female athlete was punished for refusing to fence a man. The FDA held a misinformation fest about antidepressants in pregnancy. In-N-Out owner reveals she's fleeing California to move eastward. Raising a family is not easy here. July 24, 2025. Pam Bondi suffers sudden medical emergency after bombshell report claiming Attorney General told Trump he was in Epstein files sparked fury. House panel votes to subpoena Bill and Hillary Clinton over alleged Jeffrey Epstein links. Ghislaine unsealing judge is an Obama hack who oversees ridiculously large number of Epstein cases. Second court blocks Trump's birthright citizenship order nationwide after Supreme Court ruling. Trump signs executive order to bar woke AI from federal dollars. Elizabeth Warren calls for investigation into Paramount's $16 million Trump settlement. Bribery in plain sight. Tulsi Gabbard refers Obama to DOJ for criminal prosecution. The country deserves better than the Dems' cracked-out clown show, elite media ignoring Gabbard's bombshell. Colombia agrees to $200 million fine to settle fight with Trump administration. China and Russia relaunch maritime research missions and eyeing Arctic ambitions. Armenia ready to place part of territory under U.S. control, says Spanish media. A former security guard at the U.S. Embassy in Norway is accused of spying for Russia and Iran. Bryan Kohberger sentenced to 4 lifetimes in prison without parole for murders of University of Idaho students. Matthew Perry's doctor pleads guilty to supplying Starr with ketamine before his death. McDonald's manager charged with shooting employee's mom while she was punching her in the face. Edison offers to pay Eaton fire victims for damages and move to avoid litigation. Whites-only community considering expansion to Missouri. July 25, 2025. French President Macron says France will recognize Palestine as a state. Keir Starmer says state is inalienable right of Palestinian people. Trump hit by devastating proof Epstein birthday book is real. Bill Clinton birthday letter to Jeffrey Epstein about childlike curiosity emerges days after Trump sparked billion-dollar lawsuit. Trump orders legal action to enable forced relocation of homeless, public drug users into treatment centers. Trump's South Park problem. Hulk Hogan's death marks the end of an era that defined larger-than-life personalities of the 1980s. Chuck Mangione, whose jazz horn warmed up the pop charts, has died. Keeping receipts. Democratic Party tries to pin record-high 2025 grocery prices on Trump, but it completely backfires. The View goes on hiatus after Joy Behar anti-Trump rant. Hospital settles lawsuit after patient dies during surgery. The doctors were playing music bingo during the procedure. All 5 players found not guilty at Hockey Canada trial. I do not find the evidence either credible or reliable. I'm all behind it. Tom Homan says he supports ankle monitors for illegal immigrants. Thailand and Cambodia exchange heavy artillery fire as fighting rages for second day. Musk Starlink suffers global outage. Consul warns Mexicans must take extreme precautions in Florida. ChatGPT gave instructions for murder, self-mutilation, and devil worship. July 26, 2025. Democrats request copy of Epstein birthday book that reportedly contains Trump poem. George Santos reports to prison for 7-year fraud sentence after flurry of morbid messages. 2 high-ranking NOAA employees connected to Sharpagate are put on leave. U.S. confirms it will destroy contraceptives previously designated as aid. Whites-only community co-founder says races need separate community centers. One of the grenades recovered ahead of blast that killed 3 LA deputies is missing, authorities say. NFL rocked by Super Bowl scandal with around 100 players facing possible suspension over violating league rules. South Park creators double down on episode skewering Trump. Ethics panel forces AOC to pay nearly $3,000 for Met Gala stunt. Minnesota Democrat lawmaker resigns after being found guilty of burglarizing stepmother's residence. MAGA winning culture war. Nike embraces pro-family values in new ad. Democrats get lowest rating from voters in 35 years, Wall Street Journal poll finds. Meme stock roar fades on Wall Street as retail finds new thrills. Hackers steal driver's licenses and other private data of women who signed up for app that lets them rate men. A science journal pulled a controversial study about a bizarre life form against the author's wishes. Little League team denied travel visas to U.S., won't compete in World Series. Icons from the decade of decadence are dying. Why it's especially sad. July 27, 2025. Trump and Netanyahu indicate talks failed, mediators Egypt and Qatar signal otherwise. Shop horror. At least 11 stabbed at Michigan Walmart in terrifying scene before armed shopper helped detain knife-wielding madman. Competing conspiracy theories consume Trump's Washington. I'll never be the same after learning what I've learned. Dan Bongino says he's shocked to his core over recent public corruption investigations. Trump says Kamala Harris' campaign broke the law by paying Beyoncé and Oprah. You are not allowed to pay for an endorsement. Donald Trump posts meme of himself and J.D. Vance chasing Obama in OJ's white Bronco. South Park didn't just skewer Trump, it exposed the weakness of MAGA edgelords. Hegseth's outing of female leaders may have chilling effect at Pentagon. Hegseth team told to stop polygraph tests after complaint to White House. ICE drastically expands use of ankle monitors to track immigrants. Alabama toddler dead after being left in hot car by child services worker. 9 drunk teens arrested after using fake ID to buy alcohol on a flight from LA to London. 3 spectators die after rally car veers off-road during race. Muslim doctor defends wife beating, advises husbands to avoid serious injury, calls it therapeutic. Moscow calls for International Day against Russophobia. Why thousands of mosquitoes are being dropped by drone in Hawaii. American summers are starting to feel like winter. July 28, 2025. Art of the deal. USA biggest ever trade agreement with EU. 15% tariff on EU imports. EU to buy $750 billion in U.S. energy. Two-state solution conference poised to convene at UN as famine spreads in Gaza. Yemen's Houthis threaten to target ships linked to firms dealing with Israeli ports. Ratcliffe says statute of limitations may not protect Obama admin officials from potential Russiagate charges. Biden CBP One app was a lie. Kamala is president. Meet the deluded liberals utterly convinced Trump never won, and certain they know precisely how he'll die. South Park's Trump Satan sex scene earns fake apology and real White House backlash. Airplane passenger tackled after yelling out "Death to America" on flight. Disturbing video shows woman knocked out cold by jeering crowd in wild Cincinnati street brawl. Woman, 18, suffers life-changing injuries after hair is caught in funfair ride. A Roblox cult called Spawnism is reportedly causing kids to seriously harm themselves. Media Matters reportedly considers closing up shop amid fraud and defamation suits. George Lucas unveils Cultural Fantasy Museum at Comic-Con. An entertaining new book tells the story of how our brain turned to pile of poo. Zelensky learned the wrong lesson from Trump. Preparations underway for Qatari jet that will be used as Air Force One. Rigging the game. Trump trolled for questionable golf move. July 29, 2025. Deranged former football player kills 4 including hero cop after strolling into Midtown NYC office building armed with assault rifle. Blackstone executive and 3 others dead after shooting spree in Midtown office. Democrats demand Trump cut funding for controversial Gaza aid organization. Trump says Putin now has 10 to 12 days to end Ukraine war. Trump followed by armored golf cart. O.J. Simpson lawyer says Trump's Obama white Bronco meme is Epstein distraction. Scrolling back. Disgraced Russiagate FBI agent purges ex-posts as Trump admin bears down on Obama intel officials. Justice Department slaps Judge James Boasberg with misconduct complaint. Pete Buttigieg warns that Democrats can't go back to the status quo after President Trump. Trump memo allows federal workers to persuade coworkers their religion is correct. Trump targets NGOs to dismantle civil society. Sydney Sweeney's American Eagle ad is part of an unbridled cultural shift toward whiteness. Horrifying AI revelation. Scientists confirm artificial intelligence is shrinking our brains. How NASA engineered its own decline. Oregon governor and Portland mayor will personally court housing investors amid construction slump. January wildfire damage could total $51.7 billion within LA city limits. 30 dead in Beijing after heavy rains and flooding lead to heavy casualties. July 30, 2025. Millions of Americans under threat of tsunami in just hours, with urgent evacuations underway and sirens blaring as sixth strongest earthquake ever rocks the planet. 8.8 magnitude earthquake causes tsunami in Russia and Japan, sets off warnings for Alaska and Hawaii. Roads are gridlocked as Hawaiians flee an incoming tsunami that's sweeping across the Pacific. New York gunman was targeting NFL headquarters but took the wrong elevator. Less than 24 hours after Manhattan shooting, another NYC man got arrested for carrying a rifle. Revolving door. Mob attack suspect was free on $400 bail when brutal beating left woman unconscious. Senate floor erupts as Booker accuses Dems of being complicit with Trump. Fucking fight. Dems face off in epic verbal spat on Senate floor. Former Trump lawyer Emil Bove confirmed to appeals court despite whistleblower claims. Investigation of Jeffrey Epstein jail video reveals new discrepancies. Hong Kong police arrest 82, seize 9 million Hong Kong dollars in anti-triad operation. The FBI's leaders have no idea what they're doing. Ron Paul says, nobody for Fed chairman. Apple closes store in China for first time. Thirsty Ted Cruz fawns over nude photo of Sydney Sweeney. Katy Perry and Justin Trudeau seen on dinner date in Montreal. Jay Leno slams the overpoliticization of modern late-night shows following Colbert's cancellation. July 31, 2025. In plain sight. Mystery orange shape spotted near Jeffrey Epstein's jail cell night before his death. FBI Director Kash Patel found sensitive docs on Trump-Russia probe buried in burn bags. Record number of Democrats joined failed bid to block weapons sales to Israel. Republican politician doused in gasoline and set on fire outside Virginia office. Murderer captured after parents slaughtered in front of their own children while on family hike at Devil's Den. NYC shooting suspect bought rifle from former coworker, police say. Fighting words. Cincinnati official under fire for celebrating brutal attack saying, they begged for that beat down. Trump administration is launching a new private health tracking system with big tech's help. Migrant traffic through the Darien Gap falls to near zero. FBI says, for dark web CSAM sites shut down, at least 18 convicted in joint operation with DOJ. Fears as radioactive wasp nest is discovered at old U.S. nuclear bomb site. LA City Council bans N-word and C-word at meetings. 2 New York Times journos team up to bash conservative women for being skinny. Gym influencer Joey Swoll faces backlash after apologizing to woke mob for Hulk Hogan costume. How Halle Berry became the new face of menopause. South Park attracts 6 million viewers with episode mocking Trump. England's Birmingham bids farewell to Ozzy Osbourne, its homegrown heavy metal hero.